Hello, visibility hackers. Welcome to today's episode of the live show. I'm your host, Coach Molle from Visibility Hacking Studios, and as per usual, it's an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for joining me for today's episode. Well, today we're going to talk a lot about sales, even though I've fired my entire outbound sales team because I don't like the feeling of cold calling people. I don't like the feeling of getting on a sales call with people who haven't really gotten to know our solutions or our way of working before, the sweaty palms, the nervous feeling. You've all heard my story before about how when I used to do outbound sales, I would just wait on the phone, hoping that no one would pick up, just so that I could quickly slam the phone down, get rid of those cold, sweaty palms, that feeling of icky salesness, and I could move on to hopefully the next person who, fingers crossed, wouldn't be home. But when I shifted my thinking about sales, and when I shifted the process that we use within our business and the businesses of our clients, everything changed. No longer was I feeling this nervous energy. No longer was I feeling like an imposter. No longer was I feeling like every sales call where someone said no was a personal attack against me and all of the work that I had put in. Instead, I started connecting with actually ideal customers, with people who were pre-qualified, with people who were ready and excited for the solution that I had to offer them. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about shifting that mindset and really starting to have a fantastic, inspiring sales process. And so before we get into all of that, I have to give you the update on what we're talking about today, or what's been happening in the visibility hacking world this week. So as you know, Live Academy's summer program is just around the corner. It starts on next week. So there's still a couple spaces left. If you're interested in joining us, come on over. You can sign up today at visibilityhacking.com/let's go live, and we'll get you into the program. All of the fantastic goodies, all of the coaches. You know, this time around we have 4 coaches. There's Jim and myself as usual, but we've also brought on one of our top performing graduates from the last round. We brought John Dargy on board as your tech coach to really help you look and sound your greatest. We've also brought on Lefteris, who is a genius when it comes to creating short form content. Because we know if we want to create a connection machine, then we're going to have to also include not just all of the long form content that I love to produce, but we also have to make it into bite-sized pieces to start introducing ourselves to new audiences. So all of that is combined, wrapped together into the new 6-week Live Academy program. So come join us, visibilityhacking.com/let's go live. And on that note, let's start with a quote. Today's quote of the week actually comes straight out of this week's guest, the sales ninja himself, Mr. Jay Lee. His tagline I thought would be fantastic as our quote of the week. And he likes to tell us and remind us that sales without faith is dead. Regardless of what that faith is, you need to have belief in yourself. You need to have belief in the products and services that you're selling. You need to have faith that your solutions are the right solutions for your customer. And we don't walk blindly into faith. We do not ever walk into a sales call just with our fingers crossed, hoping that the good guy above will make this sales call work. In today's episode, we're going to talk about how you can prepare yourself, how you can have all of the tools you need to be successful so that when you walk into that sales call, you have that confidence in you. You have the tools. You know how to respond to any kind of objections that might come your way. So If that sounds like something you're interested in, if you want to boost your small business's solutions, if you want more money in the bank for your business, regardless if you're a solopreneur, a mompreneur, or a small business owner with a team around the world or in your neighborhood. Doesn't matter how big your following is, doesn't matter how big your competition is. If you are prepared and you are focused on connection with your people, everything is going to change in your business. So buckle up, keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times, and let's get started. Man, oh man, oh man. I don't like sales calls. Really, I used to do like door-to-door sales stuff, and I hated every moment of it, mostly because I felt unsafe in the environment I was in. I was in these new neighborhoods. I was knocking on people's doors. I didn't know what would open the door on the other side, whether I'd meet someone who was excited to see me or I'd encounter someone who really just wanted to slam the door in someone's face that day. And that never made me feel excited to sell. So shift forward. Then I start selling experiences and I start becoming the top salesperson in the travel industry in the whole country. And I start bringing in $250,000 sales, $1 million sales every week, every month, week after week, month after month. And it's because I shifted my mentality. Instead of trying to mimic all of these big macho man salespeople, pound your chest while you say it, instead I started modeling what was happening when I was a teenager. You see, my favorite job when I was a teenager was that I was a manager at Blockbuster. You know, for those of you who are old enough to remember, Blockbuster was this famous movie store where you would go and get your movie rentals on a Friday night, on a Saturday night, or hey, if you're wild and crazy, maybe even midweek. And people would come from miles away. Like, people would drive 30 kilometers just to come to my store on like a random Wednesday night because I was the go-to expert on weird and foreign films, on art films and foreign films and subtitled films and films that were a little bit odd. They weren't your big blockbusters. They weren't the same churn and burn type movies. They were movies that you maybe wanted to watch 3 times in a row just to make sure you understood it properly. So I had customers who would come from all over the place because that was the genre I cared about. I didn't really understand back then, but what I was doing was becoming the go-to expert in a very specific niche. And because I was vocal about sharing my expertise, because I was passionate about finding the right solution for each of my customers, because every week when they came back, I first asked them how they enjoyed last week's film. Then we'd move and adjust. Maybe the obscure Swedish art films weren't what they were looking for, and really they wanted a French classic. That was easy to understand because I cared about my customers and I understood my product like the back of my hand. So we fast forward. Now I'm in the travel industry. Now I'm bringing in my first $1 million in a week. And it's all because I focused on the exact same principles as selling a movie as I did selling millions of dollars in travel. And it's because you have to listen to your customer. Every customer is going to be different. Every connection to your solution is going to be different. And so in today's episode, we're going to talk about how you can do that. We're going to talk to the one and only Jay Lee, the sales ninja. We're going to talk about closing your sales in 3 simple steps. I'm going to share with you the digital revolution of how to make sales almost effortless online and the book that changed my life. So if you are ready for all of this, then let's get going. So first off, we love you to everyone who's here live. We love you even more to those of you here on the replay. So let us know down in the comments where you're coming in from, what you're drinking today, and let's get going. Jay Lee, the one and only, is here with us today. Jay Lee, the sales ninja. How are you doing, my friend?
I am doing very well. The invite, Molly.
Always a pleasure. So, before we get into talking about sales, I have to pump you up for the incredible Sales Ninja show. How is the show going?
Incredibly well. I mean, better than I imagined and dreamed of, which is fantastic. And so, been really having a lot of fun getting out there and training and teaching and getting people in the muy caliente hot seat Q&A. So it's called the Take My Money Q&A show to help coaches get unstuck. And people are literally getting results, sales, and mindset shifts where many people, I'd say about 5 or 6 in the last 3 weeks, are like, I have to hire you. I just got to figure out how to afford you and clear up my credit card debts. And I think in the last 3 weeks, 2 people have actually become clients. So just getting started. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, I
Thank
love
you.
it. Oh, thank you. You have such a talent for connecting with people, training them, teaching them, but also helping them shift their mindsets and realize that they have these superpowers in them. They have these skills and these talents that they should really be sharing with the world. And you have just such an incredible ability to cut through all the noise, see them for who they truly are, and help them see themselves as the talented people they are. So, I am happy to give you a stage to share that.
Thank you for putting me on the map. And I want to ring the bell for you and Jim.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So, I wanted to bring you on today to talk about connection in the sales process because you do that so well. Like, you have the ability to help people make tons of money in their sales process without feeling slimy, scammy, feeling truly connected to their people. So, I want to know, what's the secret sauce? What are people doing, or what are people not doing that they should be doing in the sales process?
The running joke, Molly, is that the secret is I was a former introvert and a former pastor. So I think those are 2 requirements to becoming a $1 million closer, being an introvert and a pastor. So if you want to sell more,
Okay.
going into full-time pastoral ministry, that's a joke. But I learned in 10 years really how to serve people, how to give first, and ask for nothing in exchange. Because really, like, if you think of like someone like Mother Teresa, she didn't do it for the money. She didn't do it for the fame. She didn't do it for the accolades. She did it because she loved people. So, that has really taught me in the 10 years, 41,583 conversations, and really serving and loving a lot of people, even people who are hard to love. And, it's been a great training ground to really learn how to connect, how to ask really good questions. And in the sales process, in the high ticket closing space, how to sell like crazy.
Oh, yeah, like, the idea of being a pastor and helping people when they are in these times of crisis, when they're in these times of need, when they're in these times of confusion, it really is asking the right questions, knowing how to listen with empathy, because it's not about you, the person asking the questions. Like, we feel when we have shows, and we feel like when we're entrepreneurs, we have this spotlight on us and it's all about us, and we have to talk about our solutions, and we have to talk about our brand, and we have to do all of that, when in reality it's not about us. It's about our customers, each and every one of them. So how do we make those connections? How do we make sure that we are listening properly?
Yeah, that's a great question, Molly. That's the $1 million question. You should really join my program. I'm just joking. That's a salesy, sleazy, slimy tactic. But to really say it out loud is listen to serve and not listen to sell. A lot of times, if you think of like friendships, relationships, business partnerships, a lot of times people will just listen so that they can get their agenda heard or their message across. So they're only like listening or pausing so that they can wait to get their say in. And really, as a former pastor and someone that really tries to serve the world, it's really important to disconnect yourself from the sale and not look at them as a means to an end, whether it's a money bag or a credit card. It's just say, can I really help you? And here's one real story. for a high ticket coach that I was doing sales for, and I still do sales for. I had a couple that were not qualified because they were not ready for 3 reasons. And I told them, I'm going to disqualify you because there's 3 different reasons why you're not going to do well in this program. And they said, we're willing to throw money at you and you're disqualifying us. We take this very personally. They were offended. I'm like, see, we're not looking for getting clients. We're looking at gaining case studies because we want to get you results and we're here to help you win. And they were very, very disappointed and very offended. And then 3 months later, they came back and say, we've taken the 3 things to heart and we realize that you were right. So now we're ready. And within the first 30 days, they made over $30,000 because they were postured and positioned and they were humble enough to be coachable.
Yeah. Oh, so when you're preparing for these sales calls, what do you do to prepare? Like, are you like the Tony Robbins kind and you jump on your little trampoline, or are you the organized type that gets your notebooks and your pens ready? What do you do to get ready to sell big?
I pray. I do pray in the morning. I do really. But really what I do is I go to all of their social media handles, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and I'll stalk you and I'll research you. And I got to do my due diligence. And before I get into a conversation with you, I want to know who you are, what your values are. I want to look at your family life. I want to look at your business life. I want to look at your, results in terms of how you're doing with your business. I want to look at your branding. I want to look at your copy. So I kind of do like a market research, if you will. And by the time we're on the call, I can speak large volumes as to different ways you connect. I'd be like, hey, Molle, I see that you're in Richmond Hill and you're, in this area. My best man actually from my wedding lives just around the corner from you. Right. And I used to hang around at the Highway 7 in Leslie area where all the bubble tea shops were popping up and all the, people from HK with like Lamborghinis and McLarens were hanging out because their parents shipped them off to Canada with these mansions and they're not even going to school. Right. That's the truth of the matter.
That hits so close to home. It's not even funny.
Because I know your area and I know your demographics. So I can speak. And when you do that, you're connecting so well that the chemistry and the resonance and the you're striking a chord because, gosh, I feel like in 30 seconds, you know me. You understand me.
And it's because you approach the conversation not from like, how do I connect with them in the business world? You're like, how do I connect with them human to human? Like, how do I connect with them as if I was trying to become their friend, not just their mentor, not just the expert that they go to and they pay some bills to? Like, that is the difference. It's not about transactions. It's about connections.
Mm-hmm. And on that note, you're right. It's not about transaction. It's about transformation through connection.
Yeah.
And so building that relationship and building that rapport and trust, but also being able to show them that you can help them get the results that they're looking for by increasing your perceived value and showing them over and over and over again in that short time that you have. Hey, I've got you. It's like, if you are going to the swimming pool and you're scared because you feel like you're going to drown. This is my story. And then, I'm doing my back float. I'll just reverse the story. And this is a true story. And I told my swimming instructor, I'm going to die. You're going to make me drown, right? I just needed someone to hold my hand literally and show me that I'm not going to drown and we're going to make it. That instructor didn't do it well. And I nearly drowned and I hated swimming and I have a phobia of water. And the next swimming pool party that I was at, someone did a cannonball and I was in the deep end on this raft and I plummeted into the deep end, was literally going to die at the age of 8 years old. And my neighbor's dad happened to be, around and he dove and saved me. I saw bubbles and I saw light and I saw, this is the end of the road for me after all this phobia. And then I realized, I just need someone to hold my hand to show me that they could help me learn how to do this or do it for me. That's even better, right? If you can swim for me, I'm good.
I'll just sit back with my drink.
Yeah, exactly. Just watching you is making me tired.
That's how I feel like most things should be. Like I need to do my laundry. I'll just sit back and watch this. I'll enjoy this from afar.
They say you got to be a judo master. You do this, you do that. You just do what you do best and outsource the rest.
Yes. Yes. So how did you make that pivot from being a minister to being a sales guy? Like what
Oh
happened?
man, it's so painful. Like after having to raise my own support as a missionary and being down to a very low salary, it got really tough. And so I was, delivering newspapers in my neighborhood, and they were paying me like $50 or $100 a month, right?
Yeah.
I had people at McDonald's making more money than me flipping hamburgers,
Yeah.
like teenagers. And because I wasn't able to make ends meet, here in Toronto, housing market,
Mm.
inflation is crazy.
Yeah.
So I thought I got to find something better than a newspaper route where people can't see me because it's so embarrassing. And I don't want to be seen at McDonald's with teenagers flipping hamburgers because I'm like way past their age. So I thought, let me go into high ticket coaching and sell for people. I have no idea what that means. I have no idea, the vernacular and all these terminologies that the learning curve from pastoring to high ticket sales is like, going from like astrophysics to becoming a farmer, right? It's like it's so different, right?
Completely different.
Completely. So, but I was hungry and I was motivated.
Yeah.
So, and I had to make money to make ends meet. And I thought, gosh, this is not very different from pastoring because I'm selling to transform and I'm actually making someone's life better. So it's just an
Yeah.
extension of pastoral ministry where I get to pastor or quote unquote shepherd the person and hold their hand along the way so that they don't drown in the swimming pool like I almost did, and then help them cross the finish line. And they're profusely thanking me. And so I kind of embarked in that part-time kind of saying, can I make this work? Can I actually make a
Yeah.
living? Can I subsidize my income that's very, very low? And next, I was closing $100,000 in 30 days part-time with 3 little kids and a sales ninja puppy.
Oh, oh, that is so cool. So no matter where you are in your life, my friends, whether you're listening live or in the replay, whether this is the first time or the fifth time you're watching this interview, I want you to know that no matter where you are right now, there's always another future possible for you. If you have that sitting,
Amen.
that rumbling inside of you that says, "Heck, maybe there's something different out there. Maybe I want to try becoming that health coach. Maybe I want to share my experience and my knowledge and help people change their lives." Do it. Just do it and start by connecting to people. You don't need a giant social media following. You need to connect one on one. One good connection will change your entire business. Oh, so Jay, what would you say to someone who is preparing right now to jump on maybe their very first sales call and they're nervous and they don't know what to do? Maybe it's me, sweaty palms, hate sales calls. What would your biggest piece of advice be for people?
I have 3 secrets on how you can close $100,000 in 10 days. Okay.
Three
3 secrets
secrets.
on how
Let's
you
do
can
it.
close $100,000 in 10 days. Number 1, give first. Number 2,
Mm.
listen well. Number 3, ask piercing questions. Number 1, give first
Ooh.
is, a lot of people try to get. A lot of people try to like, what's in it for me? So detach yourself from the sale when you give and kind of say, how can I actually serve you? Can I serve you? If I can't, maybe we're not a good fit. Let me refer you to another friend of mine that can help you 10x your visibility. She's a
Yeah.
visibility hacking queen. Her name is Molle. So I can serve you better by having her, right?
Yeah.
And then people are like, oh, why would you do that? That's amazingly unselfish of you, right? It's because it's a better fit. It's a better solution.
Yeah.
So I give first, whether there's value in the call or refer people. Listening well is let me shut up and let you talk and let me listen. And then here's your pain and your dreams. And then I try to kind of continue to have you expand and go into the deep depths of your heart to share, the actual level and intensity of challenge and dream that you have. So if you want to, for example, get rid of this lead gen problem that the visibility hacking show can solve, and be able to do these, forest ranger trips and these shows for cosplay and all these things that are your passion, and do it while making 7 figures, then let me help you alleviate that pain, achieve that dream by listening well. And I would just kind of recap and say, it's like a drive-through, and we'll use a McDonald's analogy. So you said you wanted a Big Mac, a Shamrock Shake. I'm going back on March, and the supersized fries. And also you wanted a kid's meal for you're a child that you don't have, right? Right? Just joking.
They're at home, I promise.
Right. You're just trying to get the good deal for the chicken nuggets. So would you say that's all that you had and ordered, or is there something else that I miss? And they're like, oh yeah, I mean, that's right. And then that's exactly what I want for the kids' meal. Can you also include the toy? You know, the Marvel Avengers toy, whatever. I really want that. Anything else that I missed? So you always kind of just recapping, listening well. And then after you exhaust that, there's no objection because you've handled every single question from pain, gap, and desire or dream. And then the third thing is asking piercing questions. So instead of asking yes or no questions like, hey, do you think that I can help you grow your business? And then the worst response would be like, no, not at all.
No, no, I'm good.
Now you're in a situation where it's you're going to end the call because you know you just basically close the conversation versus saying what part of the program to help you solve the lead gen flow is going to help you the most. It's going to be the content creation that we give you 12 months of content in 2 weeks, or is it going to be the camera confidence over shy introverted people, or is it going to be getting you on board on your StreamYard? We're going to customize and have a done for you template with overlays, intro, outro. Which part of the program is going to work best for you? And you're like, oh my gosh, all of them, but probably these two are going to be the most, impactful for me. Okay, sounds like everything's going to work for you, but these two are the most important. Why are these the most important? Well, because I'm camera shy, and you've shown me a technique that if I picture people in their underwear, then I'm not going to have that camera shyness. And if the lead flow is an issue because I hate doing outbound and I hate doing sleazy DMs, that if the visibility hacking team is going to help me bring the audience to me, then that alleviates that problem. Okay, sounds like we're a good fit. If we can help you move the needle in your business, help you get lead flow, help you get over your camera shyness through introvertedness, does it sound like we can help take action today? If we can help make this work for you? Absolutely. Okay, and then now it's a matter of what does it cost to work with you? Can I afford you? And do you have payment plans?
Yeah. Oh, so it's like at first you want to whittle down, and you want to do this by giving them the opportunity to add anything onto your McDonald's list, add anything onto their order that you can address right away. Oh, take that objection. We're just going to get rid of that. Whittle it down until there's nothing left to object. And then, boom, you open it up by giving them so many options of things that are amazing, that are going to serve them, that are all tied to the same offer. But that way, they have all these possibilities. They see the future. They have no more objections in their brains. Now it's just possibilities. And that makes the closing of the sale like a done deal. It's a no-brainer at that point, which is brilliant. Jay Lee.
Wow, you really got it. I ring the bell for you, and this is the way. # this is the way.
Oh, I love it.
Well done.
I love it.
You really nailed it. You really, really nailed it. I mean, I feel like you deserve an award.
Aww. People overcomplicate the sales process. And I've walked through so many different programs where it's like, here's the 27 steps, and make sure that you don't leave the call until this, and don't sell payment plans because of this, and only do this and only do that. It's like, no. Every sales process, every sales call, every moment of connection is going to require a different solution. We were talking with Tammy Fink a couple days ago for her interview, and she talks about the Rubik's Cube and how there's so many different possibilities to solve the Rubik's Cube, but there's only one solution. It's like you only have one offer, but there's so many different ways in which you're going to approach that offer for that particular client, which is so cool. I like it. Just connect people.
And when you learn the ways of really understanding people and really talking human, talking human English, you really don't have to be robotic or salesy. It's really like just really connecting deeply with people, and there is no limit to the answers and when you're in flow state. When you're in flow state, it's like you can bring come hell or high water. Any objections, some of the most difficult people that kind of try to put you through the fire or through the furnace. I'm like, hey, I like hot, right? Let's go there. Yeah, bring it on. I'm like, no big deal. right? So people sometimes try to bring heat. People sometimes try to be cold. People try to like, you try opening me up. I'm a hard shelled clam.
Yeah.
I'm like, I love oysters. I got a tool to open that up. Here's a little tickle and I hear a
Yeah.
little knife, and then boop, automatically open.
Yeah.
Right? Did you want
Just
one or two of those?
Oh, so when you're at like truly listening on these sales calls, which, a good sales call could take a little bit of time. Are you writing notes, or do you have like a template that you follow with, or do you just listen and take notes? Like what's that process look like behind the scenes for you?
Yeah. So a 10-figure coach, sales coach who's done billions of dollars in sales. And I agree with this. He basically says you practice a sales script so you don't need it.
Yeah.
So there's a sales script where there's a framework that teaches you how to ask right questions, open,
Yeah.
piercing questions, how to lead the conversation, how to facilitate and frame the call. So much so, I was practicing it so much that my wife said I was closing her on the sale in my sleep in the bedroom. And she's like, "Would you stop it? I'm not a prospect." Right? I practiced so many times that I would literally practice in my sleep the sales script. And she was like, "Stop it, stop it, stop it." Like, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't even know I was doing that." Right. And all that to say is like, I know it so well, I don't need the script. But
Yeah.
in terms of practicality, I do have a CRM where I do write notes. You can use the app called Crisp, KRISP,
Mm.
where it hides the key strokes from the click, 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 click,
Yep.
click. And so people don't even know I'm taking notes, and I'm taking copious notes. But then there's times where I'm just like, "See, look, no hands. I'm not typing right now."
Yeah.
Right?
Oh.
See, I'm paying attention to you, right?
Click, click,
Click,
click,
click, click,
click,
click,
click,
click, click,
click,
click, click,
click.
click, click, click,
Oh.
click. That's a really good point. Click, 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 click.
Oh, now let me tell you about
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's
So
that's
my
smart.
my frame my framework is basically three things. Number one, fit. Number two, timing. Number three, budget. Are we good fit?
Okay.
Because if you're a jerk, I don't want to work with you. Uh,
Yeah.
Number two, how soon are you looking at getting this solved? I had one person said, "I'm going to be ready in 3 years." I'm like, no, thank you. Another
Okay.
person,
Yeah, call me in
would be
3
budget,
years.
right? And then the third one is budget. Are you willing to invest time, resources?
Mhm.
So if I just say money, are you willing to invest money? People are like, no. They don't want to
No.
be. The people hate being sold, but they love to buy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I framed the question by saying, are you willing to put time, effort, energy, and resources, which is finances, to help move the needle in your business, to 10x your business in 12 months, or help you double your sales, or increase your close rates, or whatever it is that you're promising or hoping to guarantee, that alleviates the pain and helps achieve the dream for you to be a full-time cosplay girl, right? and eat really good pizza in Richmond Hill with Lefty.
Of course. Of course. You're in on all our secrets.
I know some.
So you're just in your brain, you know the framework of the sales process. You know the why behind each of the steps so that you can just easily flow through that. If you need an intermediate step, my friends listening at home, just write down the headline for each of the different sections of your sales process. That will just be a little cue. Go a little step further, make them just an emoji, just a little cue for reference. And then eventually you'll know them by heart and you'll be closing people in the bedroom in no time. And then that
Then
way
there's a hot
you'll
topic. Those people in the
and then
bedroom.
that way you'll know your sales script. You don't need to feel like you're robotic. You don't need to read it off a script, and you can actually focus your attention on genuinely connecting and listening to the person on the other line. Now, Jay, big question. When you do sales calls, do you do video sales calls or do you just
Hmm.
do audio on the phone?
I don't do phone. I do Zoom.
Okay.
I've done video calls, and I've done no camera calls. So one of my coaches, he doesn't do any video calls.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons is because, when he's asking for the sale at the end, it can kind of get awkward sometimes. So
Yep.
that'll be a $20,000 full pay or a two pay at 12,000, whichever works best for you. And then they're like, right? Versus, yeah, exactly. Versus, if I had a profile picture here, which I don't have, but people are like, hey, are we doing a video call? And you could say, hey, I'm just going to turn on the video and I'm going to focus on you so I can take some really good notes and make sure I
Yep.
listen well. Is that okay? And I've had
Yep.
nobody refuse that. However, some people are very, very much, wanting to see you. So hey, they're like, hey, can we just make sure that our video's on so I can kind of see
Yeah.
you and kind of know who you are? I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll just mirror. So, just like
Yep.
a professional athlete or a black belt martial artist, I'll go with the flow and do whatever you want and
Yep.
mirror. And mirroring is a good way, whether it's through verbal recap or whether it's, I'm gonna kind of copy you a little bit, and you've been kind of doing that, and like those kinds of things, and you know, right? That's always
Mirroring
helpful.
works so well. Like it psychologically, what's happening in your brain when someone else is mirroring your actions, mirroring your
Mhm.
way of speaking, mirroring your mannerisms, basically they're mirroring your energy level. Our
Yeah.
brain goes, they're like us.
Yes.
Ah. And so we're not in this space of fight or flight. We're not having to spend our energy focusing on our survival. That's literally what's happening in our brain. Are we under threat? No, we're
Mm.
not. Ah, they're like us. Now we can focus on moving forward. We can focus on growing now, i.e., the solution that this person is about to sell me is going to be the solution that's going to grow my business in amazing ways. And that's psychologically the trick, my friends.
Yeah, and the guard is down, and you build trust to the point where, hey, just share with me what you got. And then, it's like when you have that connection, it's like, I found my people, right? I like you,
Yeah.
right? And people
Yeah.
like to invest in people that they like to work with.
Yeah. That's so true. That's so true. All right, Jay, before we wrap this up, any last words for our people?
What I always say is sales without faith is dead. So you need to really
Yes.
believe in yourself. And for those of you who are listening out there, live or replay, really, really important is the imposter syndrome, the limiting beliefs, the fear of success, the fear of failure, all the things that sabotage or self sabotage you from being the successful entrepreneur that you are called to be. It was in my mind for like years. And without having to get over those things, it's going to be very difficult to really go all in. And I use that swimming analogy. I'll say you got to really dive in the deep end and really commit all in. That's why sales without faith is dead. When you have faith and belief in yourself and the solution that you offer, you are an unstoppable, visible hacker.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Jay, how can people get a hold of you? How can they get to know you more? How can they watch the Sales Ninja show?
Yeah, they can go to my Facebook group where I give free resources at group.gosalesninja.com. So maybe we can put that in the comments,
Absolutely.
group.gosalesninja.com. And there's free resources, free PDFs. There's nothing for sale in there. And then on the Sales Ninja show, which is Tuesdays and Fridays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, there's free training. And on Fridays, which is the Take My Money Q&A hot seat, if you want to jump into the hot seat, just comment hot seat, and one of our team members will get a hold of you to help you get unstuck for free. So that's it.
Oh, I love it. Jay, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So, bottom line, if you want more sales in your business, you have to start by attracting the right people. And you have to therefore create content for the purpose of connecting with those ideal customers. And so, what we've been doing in the visibility hacking world, we've been doing a couple different tests, if you will, where we've been experimenting with a couple different types of content and their processes behind the scenes and how they're able to generate new leads for our programs, new customers into our world, and so on and so forth. So, if you haven't joined us previously, the last couple episodes I've been sharing with you some of the really awesome reels that we've created with Lefty, who is again one of our short form content coaches in the upcoming Live Academy program. So he's created some pretty cool reels for me. He came over to my place. We shot for 2 hours, and we actually created over almost 2 months worth of content simply in 2 hours. That's it. Keep in mind, I did come prepared. I had quite a lot written down and planned out ahead of time. So when shooting started, we could just bang them out. But here is one of the ones that will be posted very, very soon. So consider this your behind the scenes sneak peek of what's about to happen. Enjoy.
Want to double your leads on Facebook? Well, start connecting and nurturing with a simple video message. And hey, when they join your group, just send them a message too. It's a personal connection because we're playing the game of content for the sake of connection. If you want to know more, follow me.
And it's so true. If you want to create that moment of connection, you want to stand up above and beyond all of the other businesses that are running online, that are trying to over automate their processes, that are really trying to make it so that these business owners have fully passive income. But we know if we want to connect with our people, if we're those people, if we're people, we want to make sure that we have the opportunity to connect with those ideal audiences, to actually have that connection where they know that we're a real person and we're not just a robot or an automated email on the other end. So pick up the phone, call them, pick up your phone, create a video message, something that only has to be a couple seconds long, but it's a face-to-face connection. It's a hello, welcome to my program. I'm so glad you're here. Let's connect. That's going to change the game for your business. And let's talk about something else that's going to change the game. Let's talk about what's on my bookshelf. This week, I went back into the classics. I went back to both first and second editions of .com Secrets, the beginning of the Russell Brunson trilogy. .com Secrets is fantastic when you want to make more money online, when you want to use your web pages, you want to use your lead pages, you want to have landing pages, all of these things. You want to use them in a way that's actually going to start generating leads into your business, start selling products in your business, and start increasing that overall basket size. How many items? What is the overall value of each individual checkout for your people? Now, if you like the marketing math and you like the sales math of all of that, and you want to learn how to do more of it, how to really harness the power, then definitely pick up your copy of .com Secrets. Cool thing is you can get it absolutely free, just pay for shipping. Links are down in the description, but I highly, highly, highly recommend this book. Like, I have tabs, I have it like highlighted, I got sticky notes, I got the whole deal. Both editions have all of my notes in them because I keep coming back to these books. Now, the reason I'm diving into the trilogy again at this time of the year is because we're going to bring back the Business Building Book Club. So if you're interested in joining us, we're going to be diving in to the third book in the Russell Brunson trilogy because the Business Building Book Club has already gone through .com Secrets and Expert Secrets. So if you want to check out .com Secrets, me reading it to you, then definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I will put a little playlist together and pop that onto the main channel page for you guys. So you can check out .com Secrets. We'll put together the playlist for Expert Secrets, which you can check out next week. And then in 2 weeks from now, we'll be launching the new book club. So you can join us for Traffic Secrets as well. So altogether, those 3 books are really going to help set your online business at the next level. So let's start with the technical stuff and .com Secrets. So the big overarching theme of this book is sales funnels. The idea that instead of having your customers arrive at a shiny online brochure, which is pretty much what most websites are, it's a whole ton of information vomited all over the page with a whole bunch of links that people have to dig into and find. It's kind of like you're creating your own rabbit hole for people to go down, but it's not necessarily leading them to a sale. is giving them a whole bunch of information and crossing your fingers and praying and hoping that they find the solution they're looking for and they come on back. Most of our marketing materials are not that impactful. We need to think about the process a little bit differently. We need to harness a bit more marketing psychology. We need to understand what is happening in those connections in our sales process and how can we really maximize that. And when you do that with a sales funnel, the idea of a funnel doesn't really work with me. It's more like a really good journey, a really good, let's call it the yellow brick road. And each of those steps, each of those bricks along the road have been intentionally laid to lead you to Oz, to lead you to that ultimate sale. So each of the pages that your customer is going to see on your webpage, each and every step in that process is curated and intentionally designed. So for example, instead of just selling you Apple AirPods, because we know Apple AirPods are fantastic, I swear by them, we're going to sell you that. And when you say, yes, I'm interested in that, we're going to offer you a bonus Apple Care protection. That's going to increase your basket size. Once you've moved on from that page, we're going to offer you a one-time offer of the coolest case so that you have something really cute, something personalized for your Apple AirPods. Then on the next page, we're going to say, don't lose it. You definitely don't want to lose it. So we're going to offer you an AirTag as well. Again, increasing your basket size, increasing that overall dollar value at the end of the day. That sale is now going to be worth so much more because we've intentionally laid out that process for you. So if you want to learn more about building those sales funnels, then definitely check out today's book of the week, .com Secrets from the one and only Russell Brunson. If you have books that you recommend that we should check out here on the live show or maybe for the Business Building Book Club, then definitely put your comments down in the comments. I would love to see your selections. Let's keep going. Today, we're going to flip it up. We're going to give you your hot tip before we get to the end of today's episode. So today, I want you to look at yourself in the mirror. This sounds really goofy, but I want you to look at yourself in the mirror and realize that you have 2 ears and only 1 mouth. And that is a sign that in each and every one of our sales calls, no matter if they're inbound or outbound, no matter if they've been warmed up to our movement and they know how we work, their ideal pre-qualified customers, or on that sales call, it's a little bit of a get to know you call. You're starting to understand a bit more about that customer. You're starting to warm them up a bit more. Regardless of how that sales call starts, every time you have a moment of connection with your people, remember that you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. You should listen twice as much as you're talking. Yeah, okay, having a live show is a fantastic place that you need to be talking. But when you have people commenting on your content, when you have people emailing you and engaging with you, when you have your ideal customers dropping into your DMs, when you have them on a video call, on a phone call, on an audio call, whatever it is, remember to listen to them. Listen to them. Because I'm going to share with you very soon how to close your sale in a very simple way. And it's all based on the idea that we are intentionally listening to our people. So let's get into that. If you've made it this far in today's episode, then you care about making more money online. You care about closing more deals in your business. So today I'm going to share with you how to close your next sale in 3 simple steps. Step number 1 is when you're on that call with them. Remember, 2 ears, 1 mouth. You're listening twice as much as you're talking. So the first thing you're going to do is make sure that you're asking probing questions that are going to get to the heart of the obstacles your client or your potential client is experiencing in the moment. This is where we need to be listening for specifics. So what I do in reality is, while I'm asking these probing questions, I am taking notes. And if you've ever seen the sales ninja on his calls, he has this special tool that he types everything, and he has this special tool that removes the clicking of the keys. I'm a hardcore pen and paper kind of gal. I have my options, not excuses notebook, of course. So what we're doing is we're asking these probing questions. We're writing down and documenting all of the different obstacles that our people are facing. And that helps us do step number 2, which is to then connect those obstacles with solutions that we can provide. So when we know our offer stack inside and out, we know what other kinds of bonuses we can offer. We know our customer because we're listening to them. We can then start to say, well, you've mentioned these 3 really important things. Maybe they mentioned 5, but 3 of them are like super important connected to your offer. So you're going to say these 3 things I can help you with. Number 1, I can help you with that level of confidence, because in the Live Academy program, we focus every week on camera confidence. It's not just an exercise we do once, it's something we do on a regular basis, because camera confidence is something we all need to do. And through that program, I think you're really going to find an exercise that's going to work for you. And then you go through each of those things that people have noted, and you tie them back to parts of your offer stack. If you want to know more about intentionally designing your offer stack to be an effortless sales process, then let me know down in the comments. Let's give us a hashtag effortless sales, and we'll be in touch, because we have some special bonus trainings in the Visibility Vault. I'll share with them later on. But if you're interested, I can slide you in now if you're really interested. And so once we've gone through, we've identified the obstacles, we've tied back to all of those obstacles. Now, the third thing we're going to do is invite those people on our call now to the party. We're going to invite them to participate in our program, and we have to make sure that we are doing the invitation. A lot of us forget. It gets a little bit anxious. We feel like we're not winning when it comes to creating those connections to our solutions. And so we wither and we curl into each other, and we totally forget to do it. So focus on those 3 very simple steps. You will close your next sale, and come hang out in the visibility hacking world, and let's celebrate that. Now, before we end today, my final words for you, my final thoughts, my last words for you guys is to remember that slimy sales, the kind of sales that make us feel like we're scamming people, the kind of sales that leave us feeling icky, that make us nervous and anxious and like we really don't want to do this. Well, that's a sign that you need to stop. You need to change what you're doing. You need to change directions. And instead of allowing yourself to be in a sales experience that feels that slimy, recognize that if you're feeling that slimy, your customer on the other line is probably feeling it as well. And they're probably feeling it a lot more because their brains are tuned in to threats. And so they're being skeptical in a way that's going to save them and their wallet. So if we want to break down those feelings, we first need to understand that we're going to feel that sliminess. And if we feel that sliminess, red flag, you need to change your process. So go check out the Sales Ninja Show. He's got fantastic tips for you Tuesdays and Fridays. Go check him out. Tell him Molle says hi. Tell him Molle sent you. And we will see you guys very, very soon. So thanks for joining me today. We'll see you again for the showcase. We'll see you again for Friday Night Live. And of course, we'll see you for Live Academy.